take in more Syrian refugees, now growing to 33. Our next guest is among those state leaders. Joining us right now is the governor of Florida, Rick Scott. Governor, you were on a conference call yesterday. It was the intent from the White House to assuage your worries about the Syrians coming to our country. Were you assuaged?
No, I became more concerned. Here are the facts. They're not going to pause. They couldn't explain to me how the U.S. vetting process is any better than the French vetting process, even though we know one of the terrorists posed as a Syrian refugee. They do background checks. They're not going to give me or any of our law enforcement in Florida the background checks. And they're not going to give us any power, which we don't have now. That's why what I ask is, let's take a pause. We see that France is still developing. We saw what happened today there with the raid today. Let's figure out exactly what happened here. That's why I asked Speaker Ryan and Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to say, don't use any federal funds to relocate any Syrian refugees in Florida. They're not going to tell us anything. I got to defend the 20 million people who live in my state.
It's unbelievable. 18 governors have said the Syrian refugees, and we think they're Syrian, we don't even know, will not be allowed to resettle in their states. But the bottom line, Governor, as frustrating as it is, the reality is you have no control of this.
We have no control. They're not going to give us background information. They're not going to tell us where. They're not going to tell us who. And I'm responsible for 20 million people's safety and over 100 million tourists a year. Now that, to me, I mean, that's concerning. So the conference call with the White House yesterday didn't help me at all. It made me even more concerned. Think about it. They can't tell me how the vetting process is better than the French. The French must have been trying to do a good job for their country. They won't give me background information, and they won't give me any power to take care of the citizens of my state and the visitors of my state. That's wrong. It's concerning. It's troubling.
How many are you getting?
Right now, they say that we're going to get 425. But they're not going to give us any more information, and they're going full speed ahead. They're not going to slow down. Think about this. 129 people were murdered. Murdered. My daughter has relatives there.
Wow.
Her in-laws live there. They're worried about them. They were murdered.
Of course.
300 people injured. And we should slow down.
Governor, that's reasonable. It doesn't seem like at the White House they're being reasonable. 32 governors say just let's have a pause, and you can't get anyone. Thanks so much, Governor Rick Scott of Florida.